welcome to our public service series, Teaching Grandma to Understand and Use Smart Devices. I'm Sister Stanley. I'm a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I'm actually a grandmother. I have 11 grandchildren. Perfect for this role of grandmother in our series. And these are my two teachers.
I'm Austin Kellum.
And I'm Cale Platt.
And we're going to have a 6-part series here. Let me just give you a brief on what we'll be covering. In this particular episode, we'll be talking about just the different types of smart devices, such as computers, tablets, smartphones, e-readers. Then in our next episode, we'll talk about the world's largest library, the Internet. In our third episode, genealogy tools and sites. I'm sure you'll want to do some genealogy there. In our fourth one, we'll talk about hobbies and crafts and educational things and YouTube, how to find a recipe. Number 5 will be religious pictures, videos, books, resources, and number 6 is family communications such as video conferencing, Facebook, email, texting, all of the things that grandmothers want to know. So boys, let's get started with our first lesson. What makes a smart device smart?
A smart device is smart because it includes a processor that can accomplish millions of different tasks at one time. The instructions are called programs, and they're stored in a memory device. They all have a power source, a battery, and a plug-in. They all have connections from the user, either an input or an output. An input is usually a mouse and keyboard, what else? A printer, and, touchscreen and voice and audio microphones. Then for output is usually a screen, a printer, and some sound, like a speaker or something.
For these smart devices, there's going to be 2 different types of programming that run it. So the first kind is going to be the operating system. For Apple devices, this will be like iOS. And for Android, it's whatever operating system they have. And this is basically the backbone. It's what runs the entire device. And then also the second thing the second type of programming will be applications that make the device do the different tasks you want it to do. So this can be anything from games to a calculator app. These are the specialized programs that can do different things.
So let's talk about what the smart devices are.
First off, we can start with computers. There's 2 different types of computers, a desktop and a laptop. These are the most complicated smart devices that there are out in the world. The next ones are tablets. They are handheld, they're portable, and they can be used anywhere. They are limited to some tasks, but we'll talk about that later. Next are smartphones.
Oh, is this just you? Okay.
Yeah,
this next part is smartphones. So as we can see here, we have 2. These are really special because 1, they're portable. 2, they have data capabilities. So anywhere you are that has data, you can access, as Sister Stanley here mentioned, the world's largest library. And then there's e-readers. These are mainly for reading books. They only have 2 colors, so that's why they're good for just books. You can't really do anything that's special on them.
That special reading is important, guys.
Oh, except for special reading books.
So back to desktops. Desktops they're computers, but they are not portable, or they are portable, but they're not supposed to be used in multiple places. They're easily interchangeable when it comes to parts, and they have a direct internet connection.
All right, the next is a laptop. This smart device is much like the desktop, except it is made to be much more portable. This can include having a wireless connection and a portable battery that's inside the device. It can usually cost around $300 to $1,800, and it's, as I said before, it's more easy to use than a computer because it's more portable and minimized.
The next are tablets. They're handheld devices that can be carried anywhere. They usually run on a operating software called iOS. It's made by a company called Apple. But they're handheld devices, not like cell phones and smartphones and stuff like that. They're handheld devices that their main purpose is for games, streaming TV shows, reading books. They're like multitasking tools.
Next is the smartphone. It's a combination of the tablet and the cell phone. So it's basically just a smarter cell phone. It can connect to the internet through phone service and the Wi-Fi. It has a GPS system, so you can use maps in one of those apps, as I talked about before. It gives connectivity, flexibility, portability, not available in other devices. So what that means is, unlike the desktop or the laptop, you can just take it and put it in your pocket. Has a smaller screen than the tablet, so you can just put it in your pocket, like I said before. And it has high performance photographic capabilities, so it can take pictures, which is another interesting feature of the smartphone.
The next thing we have is an e-reader. Its sole purpose is for books, but sometimes it can play games. It's usually black and white when it comes to color, unlike tablets where you can have multiple apps and stuff. It is solely for reading.
These are the safety. Next, we're going to talk about the safety issues. So for portable devices like the smartphones or the tablets, they can be dropped or sat on or lost. Some things we can do to help with this is a case that will stop the phone from breaking, or multiple devices. So like with the smartphones, you can track your other devices.
So you have a case on your phone there, it looks
Yes,
like, huh?
it's a case that makes it so I can drop my phone and not worry about it shattering all over the ground. Internet connected devices allow the possibility of spying, spamming, phishing, and malware. And as it probably sounds, none of that is really good. You don't want that on any of your devices. Some things you can do to stop this are antiviruses, or like firewalls. Devices need software updates periodically, and you might want to take that in consideration because it takes a long time.
What should you buy? Well, when it comes to what should you buy, it depends on your situation and what you're going to be using it for. If you want to buy a smart device that, let's say you're going to be using it for like business work or traveling, I would recommend a laptop because it's more portable. If you want a smart device for communication, I would recommend a cell phone because it's the easiest to communicate with people. If you want a smart device that is related to gaming, I would recommend a desktop.
Because they have the most flexibility with the things you can put into it to make it more powerful.
A smart device that is related to reading, I would recommend an e-reader.
Because that's basically all they're good for. Alright, next we're going to have the practical moment with Grandma. And alright, now we have Grandma here with a smart device in her hand. I know it's kind of difficult to see because we have a laptop. Yep. And today we're going to be showing her the basic steps of how to use it. Alright, so you start with powering it on. So Grandma, you just got to hit the power button. No, it shows behind you. It's behind you. You don't have to show them. You just do it.
Okay.
Alright, so as we can see, Grandma has powered on the phone and it's disconnected. Okay, there we go. So first thing you want to do is unlock the device. So many smartphones come with safety precautions to stop from theft. So this one has a simple 4-digit passcode that she's going to hack through to get to my phone. Okay, so you press the home button to activate it and press it again. Type in the passcode that I told you.
I hope that's not.
284. Alright, and now you're in. So now you have access to all the applications that we talked about earlier. As we can see, we have email and many others. So we're going to try to send a simple text message to Austin here, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so first thing you want to do is go to the message app. Here, can you move your head a little bit? It's this one right here,
Sorry.
and it's just the little speech bubble, usually on most phones. Oh. Okay, the speech bubble. So you're going to tap that on at the bottom. Oops. So first you're going to search up your contact. So it's in the top right corner on most, and you just tap on it. Tap on it right there.
So for the new message, you're
Yeah,
talking.
for a new message. And then you're going to type in the contact that you want to have.
Just
so you type
my
in
name.
Austin, A-U-S-T, I think.
Right there.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
it'll come up with the search results. And there we go. Now you're going to want to text in
Or you can
whatever
put
you
the whole
want.
phone number in, right? If I don't
If
have
you don't
it
have a
listed in
person's
here.
contact, you can put their full number in to text in.
Okay.
And then to start texting, you just tap the middle bar, and then you can text whatever words you want, and it'll come up on the screen. Oh, looks like you just texted you there.
Oh,
And just text
okay.
them whatever you want.
Okay.
No fake news. And you click send. Yeah, that is one of the most basic things you can do with a smartphone is communication. Austin, anything you would like to say about that?
So through communication, we're able to contact our family members much easier than we were able to back in the old days, as you guys call it.
No, that's what we
It's
call it.
much easier than writing letters, I'll tell you that.
Very fast. That's why nowadays with the evolution of there's old mail has now become snail mail because it's so slow. So now we're going to compare the Apple and Android devices that we have here. Austin here is an Android user with his LG phone, and then I have, as you can see, the Apple iPhone 7. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each. Austin, you want to start?
So the pros and cons of an Android is it's much more complex. You're able to send direct messages to other people besides Apple, and you're able to, I guess, FaceTime with Samsung. But the cons of this phone is you're not able to use iMessage and communicate with some people who have iPhones, and it can be hard sometimes in case they have an iPhone. It can be hard to message them.
With the iPhone, I'd say it's probably better than the Android devices, and that's probably me just being a little biased here, but it's what I use, and it has many different capabilities that the Android does not. I'd say it's a little bit safer to use with the firewall, because Apple's really careful about what they let into their phones. And another con for us Gen Z, is that where we are?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's this cool app called Game Pigeon, and you can text video games to each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, next.
Next time, we'll be talking about the internet, the world's largest library.